Welcome back to MLB Roller Coaster. We got MLB Stadium tier list. So I'm putting all 30 stadiums, because nobody shares any in baseball, into tiers, 5 tiers. I'm not going to be like having the same amount of teams in every tier. That's just not right, okay? This is like grouping how I feel. Like, for example, there's only 2 in the very last tier. And then tier 2, I have like about 10. So here we go. Now, don't make anything of what part of the tier, like if I say you first or say you last in a tier, don't make anything of that unless I am kind of like signaling that. So let's start in the bottom tier. Subscribe to the channel if you want more baseball content. We got the first video in a relatively new setup tonight. We'll see if we keep it or not. But in this bottom tier, we got the Tampa Bay Rays, Tropicana Field. You already know, man. Like, very bad dome here. Not a ton to say. I'm not going to try and make how many fans show up a role in this. And I don't think it is. Like, in the postseason, it's still a very bad stadium. The other one we got in this tier is Lone Depot Park. It's now called, home of the Miami Marlins. The other stadium in Florida. Florida, man, obviously you need those domes. And I'm actually an advocate to say that more teams, in fact, maybe all, should start getting domes. I just think it's putrid for MLB to just have literally games canceled, postponed in the middle. Like, that's your plan for your summer night, and then it just gets postponed. That's ridiculous. I think maybe we should start looking at every team getting domes, but you can make nice domes, as you'll see later on this list. I'm a big fan of some domes. Rays and Marlins dome, very bad. Not much to say about Miami's one. It's bigger. There's more upper decks, so I'd put it a little bit higher, but it's still bottom tier. Let's move on to the next tier. We got Rogers Center, home of the Toronto Blue Jays. I don't know what to think of this stadium, because I hate watching games like when the Yankees are playing there on TV. Not a fan of watching games there. It's like, an NYY tour series. Not cool. But sometimes, like, looking at the whole view of the stadium, I do really like it. And 5 decks, it makes a lot of noise. It's very cool stadium. So it's not bottom tier, but considering how much I hate, like, we have to play there, yeah, pretty down there. Next up on our second to last tier, we got, I think it's called Oakland Coliseum. They have a bunch of names at all times, and that's the Oakland A's Stadium. We're nearing the end of the era with that stadium, and as much as I want to like that stadium, I cannot like it. Like, I don't even mind when the Yankees play there or nothing like that, but it's just not good. Another one in this tier, we got the Washington Nationals National Park. I'm a big Nationals guy, but the unfortunate reality is that this stadium, pretty bland and just a little more towards the underwhelming side. Guaranteed Rate Field, home of the White Sox, is also in tier 4. It's very, very boring, and there's literally nothing that catches my eye about the stadium, really. Oh, I technically saw the stadium when I was in Chicago. It was pretty tall. I actually got to see a little in it just by driving in the road, which is pretty cool. The reality of the situation is, though, I'm not biased or nothing like that. It's pretty bad. All right, 2 more for this 4th tier out of 5. We got the Coors Field, home of the Rockies. I just don't think it looks that good, guys. Coors Field, yeah, some people talk about it being nice and stuff, and I could kind of see that, but a lot of bleachers out there in left field, no upper deck out there in left field. So for that being the main reason, I just don't really like it. And the other one, Chase Field, another dome towards the underwhelming side of domes, but not totally bad like the Rays and the Marlins. What could I say? There's really nothing to say about the Arizona one. They do have a pool, I'll give them that. Other than that, nothing unique. Into the 3rd tier, the middle tier of stadiums, average. Now, when I say average, that's a positive connotation, okay? Like, more stadiums are good than bad. That's just how it is. Now, this tier is like the number 14 to number 21 stadium. So, obviously, these are not completely ranked, because that's kind of impossible to do. I have done that before. I might do it in the future. Who knows? But I don't think there's much purpose to put it in an exact ranking. I just want to let you know my thoughts in the tier. So this is the middle tier. Starting off with the Cincinnati Reds, Great American Ballpark. overall, like, it's not incredibly exciting, but it's in this middle tier. It gives me good vibes. Like, you have that water out and right. I love water stadiums. I don't know. There's just some sort of vibe about Great American Ballpark. Good vibe. Brave Stadium's also in this tier. Truist Park, home of the world champs. Man. Now, looking at the fact that they closed it out in Houston in a blowout in Game 6, I would have rather them just won it at home in Game 5 since that Game 6 was not good. Would have rather them just win it at home. Very decent stadium, new stadium. Also in this tier, we got Citizens Bank Park, home of the Phillies. One of the 5 stadiums I have attended. Yeah, it was somewhat bland. This is actually the lowest tier of a stadium I've been at. I don't go to bad stadiums. Yeah, the Philly Stadium, not bad, not at all. It's really decent and lets off a pretty nice summer night vibe. Got pretty fun spots to land home runs. They have cool bullpen. Like one of their bullpens is down low, one of them is up high, which is pretty cool. You got like a nice area in center field, like one of those what do you call it? Maybe like stuff where you plant. Another one, we got Mariners. What do they call that place right now? It's T-Mobile Park. It used to be Safeco Field, which was a better name. By the way, like, so many stadiums have changed names in the past few years, especially like a year or two ago, and they've all downgraded mightily in their names. Like, every stadium is getting a worse name. You hate to see it. T-Mobile Park, home of the Mariners, really decent stadium, pretty cool vibe. I don't know. Seattle in itself is not that much of a vibe. I don't know. Something about this leaves me feeling a little empty compared to the true incredible Palace stadiums, but this is a pretty cool built stadium. A new stadium in this league, Texas Stadium, Globe Life Field. I would say I preferred Globe Life Park, but I get it, man. You're in Texas, you gotta have a dome. Here's the thing, this park, it evens out to be in the middle for me. It was very high if you're just talking about the actual build of the stadium. I'm sure it's incredible to like drive by, incredible to sit pretty high up in, a really cool Palace type stadium. But when you're watching a game on TV, absolutely brutal. Like, the turf is so dull looking. It's incredible. Like 2020 World Series, like, yikes. A stadium that I've always associated with very average is the LA Angels Stadium out in Anaheim. Angel Stadium. It used to be called Angel Stadium of Anaheim, but another team that keeps going back and forth with names. Very decent stadium. I like the rocks out in left center. That's the highlight of the place. And just a SoCal vibe is always pretty nice. And home run landing spot in right is nice with the high wall. Home run landing spot in left is underwhelming with bullpens that stretch pretty far back. Overall in Anaheim, decent stadium. And the last one in this middle tier, we got Comerica Park, home of the Detroit Tigers. This stadium is literally like one of the main things I would go down on it in terms of its look as a whole is its size. Like, I don't know, like, I could probably hardly even see the outfield based on how big the stadium is. Very huge stadium, probably the biggest in the league. But it's a pretty nice, high-quality stadium. Tier 2 out of 5. We got a whole third of the league in this tier. We got 10 teams, and that's going to start out with the Kansas City Royals Kauffman Stadium. Good stadium for sure. Tier 2 type stadium to me. Very good, very pleasant overall. Obviously carried by those fountains out in the outfield. I think they have them left center and right center. Just a good vibe out in Kansas City in the middle of nowhere. Very, very nice stadium. Then you got also in this tier, Progressive Field, home of the Cleveland Guardians. I am high on this field. Most people wouldn't have it in tier 2, but I do. All around, man. High walls in left. You got lower walls and all around just like, oh man, just a nice stadium in Cleveland. What could I say? There's nothing even too special about it, but it's all around good to me, legitimately good. Another one in this tier we got Minnesota, Target Field. Another very nice stadium. This one, I feel like, is so quiet. Like, no, I don't mean that as like offense to Twins fans, but like when I think of the stadium being nice, I think of like a calm summer evening. And I don't know, like, I'm excited to see what it's like when it's jumping. But you got that high wall in right center, or all of right actually. You got the little like grassishness before home runs land, which I think is pretty nice, I guess. Overall, you got many upper decks in left. I know A-Rod be hitting balls to the third deck in 2015 in his 3-homer game at Target Field. Very nice stadium. Another Tier 2 stadium and one of the 5 stadiums I've been at is Wrigley Field, home of the Cubs. Now, I used to be like, people are overrating the crap out of these old historical stadiums and saying they're amazing just because they're old. But now I realize the only reason that they're lasting longer than all these other old stadiums is because they're so good. For the most part, that is. Wrigley Field, I was there. It's good. Like, I was there for a day game. Got to go to a day game at Wrigley. That's the vibe out there. Not that I guess you couldn't go to a night game or anything like that, but that's one of the very few stadiums that I would, probably the only stadium I'd actually prefer a day game than a night game. So we went to a day game. They got an exciting win. Such unity with that Cubs crowd. Amazing, underrated fan base in this league. Wrigley Field as a stadium. When I walked in, I was amazed how small it was. Like, yeah, there's like no upper decks. Even the first deck doesn't extend very long. And I was amazed how real that felt when I saw it for the first time in person. Petco Park in San Diego also is in Tier 2. You got a nice California vibe for the Padres. And overall, what is there to say about this stadium? I don't know what there is to say about this stadium. It's a good stadium all around. Nothing like insanely amazing. I think a palm tree appears at some point in the stadium, so that is really amazing. A really good dome in this league, Minute Maid Park, home of the Astros, is in Tier 2. Love those train tracks up there. Love that left field where you have the pretty high wall, Crawford boxes, whatever they call that, and then you have a bunch of home runs banging off that wall, and then over in right field, and then like I think the bullpen's a really nice spot out in right center, like the one of the few times it doesn't feel annoying for a home run to land in a bullpen, and then in right field, really solid. You got upper decks, pretty standard right field, big right field, which is kind of rare for a dome. Very great stadium. Another Tier 2 stadium, we got Busch Stadium, home of the Cardinals. Very, very big stadium, both on the field, it's a pitcher's park, and it goes up very high, one of the highest stadiums in the league. I really like it. Upper decks galore down the lines. Now, this might be Tier 1 if their upper decks extended out more towards right center and left center and not just down the lines, but I guess you don't need all that capacity in reality. Really nice stadium at Busch. One of those where it's nice to watch because you got brick in the background, right behind home plate. 2 more Tier 2 stadiums. Let's go with Fenway Park, home of the Red Sox. As I think about it, this is one of the more pleasant stadiums in the league to watch a game at and definitely go to. I haven't been here yet. I'm excited for when that time comes. Like, I can't really think of any other stadium that I'd actually be so hyped just because of how unique it is. But the uniqueness isn't gonna put it in Tier 1 because I don't think it's all the greatest type of uniqueness because it's beyond bizarre, the dimensions. And I don't really think a stadium should be quite that unfair. Like, I enjoy dimensions, but to the point that it's really unfair, that's a little weird. But for one stadium, love to see it. Fenway Park, good. In terms of its look, yeah, pretty good, you know? Saturday night on Fox type of vibes with this stadium. Last one in Tier 2, we got Camden Yards, home of the Orioles. This is one of the 5 stadiums I've been at. Listen, Yankees and Orioles wore Players Weekend jerseys the time I was there, which I don't like. I'm a sucker for the Orioles orange Saturday night jerseys, which I was there on Saturday night. Also, their Black Friday jerseys I like probably even more. But an orange Saturday, if it wasn't Players Weekend, man, that would have been so much better. But it's a very good stadium. Maybe not quite top tier like some people say, though. There's just maybe not enough to it, but the building in right field in the background lived up to it. It's nice, but, you know, not a ton of second deck action here or anything like that. I'm a big second deck type of guy. That being said, good stadium. Really sorry I forgot this in the initial recording, guys. Citi Field is a Tier 2 stadium. Not quite Tier 1 because it doesn't quite have an amazing home run landing spots, but overall, kind of a lot going on here. And overall, it's a pretty beautiful stadium. The outside is very beautiful. great New York stadium. Top tier. Now, let's start it off with a stadium that probably just squeezed into the top tier for me, and maybe I didn't quite expect it to, but it's really good. That's Dodger Stadium out in LA. Okay, now this is a great vibe. Like, I would say as the sun is setting, that's my favorite time of day at any stadium. And so I kind of evaluate like how much I like a stadium based on how much I like that vibe. Dodger Stadium, not a day game guy at Dodger Stadium at all. Don't like day games at Dodger Stadium. But evening night games and into the night at Dodger Stadium, very good. Think about that vibe. Palm tree in right field. It's very elite. You have clocks in the stadium. You have bullpens down the line, which is a great spot for bullpens. Really like that. You have the short walls right down the line, which I like that as well. And overall, just no upper decks, but you have that potential to hit it out of the stadium, which is pretty cool. And overall, just very nice right center and left center landing spots, the main landing spots for home runs. So Dodgers was number 5, and at this point, it is indeed a ranking video. Ooh, 4 and 3, really close. I could really flip a coin with this one. We'll go number 4. Yankee Stadium, home of the Yankees. Could be 3 or 4 in my opinion. Now, am I biased? I can't quite say if I'm being biased or not. I've been to Yankee Stadium 5 times. I've never been to any other stadium more than once. So, the thing is with this Yankee Stadium, I love it, love it, love it. Huge, goes up so high. Nice, pretty small field you got, which I do enjoy. You got amazing, like, standard size walls with good looking advertisements on the walls. It goes up so high. Every time, tradition, we go to the top of the stadium every time. It's just so fun to look from the very top of the stadium, take some pictures of Andrew Heaney before he shuts down the Boston Red Sox. That's what we did this past August. Yeah, amazing stadium. I am a Yankees fan, but I don't feel that I'm being biased. Maybe I am, but I don't feel I am. Huge Yankee Stadium guy. Number 3 on my list. Very high ranking. Miller Park. No, they changed the name. American Family Field. Home of the Milwaukee Brewers. Huge fan of the stadium. I was there. Huge fan of the stadium. What could I say? Best indoor stadium in all of baseball. They did open the roof the night I was there. I've never been to an indoor game, sadly, but just based on look, this is by far, well, Minute Maid fairly close, but this is definitely the best indoor stadium in baseball. You got upper decks, my friends. You got everything you want in an indoor stadium. You got an amazing vibe, navy gold, just really, what could I say? Insane vibe. Number 2 on my list, we got PNC Park, home of the Pittsburgh Pirates. I'm just gonna be fair, like, I need to get here, man. I need to get to PNC. It's just not very motivating when the Pirates are so incredibly horrid. The Pirates are a very bad team year after year. It's really too bad that I didn't get to their game from 2013 to 2015. Even a year like 2018 when they were fairly relevant. Now, no motivation to go to a home team's game when they're absolutely terrible. Why would I do that, okay? I want to see exciting players. I'm not going to go to Pittsburgh to see literally Brian Reynolds and then absolutely nobody. And who even knows if they're going to trade him or what. But yeah, Pirate Stadium. Incredible vibe all around. You got the water in right field. Love water in right field. You got, I don't know, like, the things that close off, like the decks, especially in right field, it just gives you like a ship type of vibe. Very cool. And number 1, this will never change. Always been my favorite stadium in the league. San Francisco. Oracle Park, home of the Giants. Huge. I mean, come on, guys. Come on. This shouldn't be a debate. It really shouldn't. You got water out in right field, or actually all around the stadium. It's just visible, and you could literally hit the ball into it a lot in right field. And it actually looks good. Like, PNC, cool, definitely cool, but rare to hit the ball in there. And I just don't think it looks as good. Like, when you hit the ball into that water in San Fran, that's just unreal, unbeatable. And all around, like, I mean, orange and black are my favorite colors. Does that play a role? I don't know, maybe. But you got that huge glove out in left field. You just got greatness. Literally, if you see it in that stadium, you should just know I love it. Anything. Amazing stadium. Top on my list. Well, that does it. The MLB Stadium Tier List. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Smash the like button. Subscribe for more content on the channel. and follow me on Instagram at MLB Roller Coaster. We'll be back next time. Bye.